Hey Juventini, I'm Alberto. This is the All Juve cast, and I'm back with another tactical breakdown. This will be for Juventus versus Zenit in the group stage match of the Champions League coming at you tomorrow. Now, again, these two teams have played, so we're going to switch it up a bit today. All right. So I usually show you more of a breakdown focused on our opponent and ways that Juventus can exploit them. Of course, with the two teams having played, we're now going to look at what happened in that match and really focus in on Juventus rather than Zenit because it's not going to vary quite that much in terms of Zenit and what they're going to do. There are some question marks with Juventus, of course, with the team entering Retiro. So Retiro is basically Allegri calling all players to stay at the J Hotel as a unit, and they will all be together and secluded for this week up until Saturday. All right. So he has basically called that into action based on the past two results, which have been losses, one to Sassuolo and one to Verona. Our last podcast came out on the weekend, and that was discussing all facets of this club and organization currently and where we stand, and talking about a lot of the issues and what's going on and what we see and what Juventini worldwide are really talking about in terms of La Vecchia Signora. It was a great episode. It's getting a lot of great, fantastic reviews. Make sure you check it out. Season 4, episode 14, Juventus Verona post-match. Now, without further ado, let's start looking at some of these slides and what we can look to expect from Juventus and Zenit. So with Zenit, again, really straightforward. A 3-4-3 variation that turns into a five-man wall at the back. They did this to us at home looking for the counter. The one odd scenario with them is that they still played Zuba, a big man up top, when they were looking to play a counter game. So I expect a bit of a change there. I don't expect Zuba to play. If they do play Zuba, again, I'd be shocked. I was shocked the first time that they did it in a counter-attacking scenario, really not playing to his strengths. But again, things could change because Juventus's latest results might give Zenit a little more confidence to get after it, and maybe they open up a bit, but I highly doubt it. Okay, so let's get to some of the clips on how Juve can exploit them, and again, using the first match as our example. So here you have a scenario, 38th minute, and again, really straightforward. But what you're going to see is that we need to break them down at the back and spread them out. So here you have Sandro holding width, which is great. The ball comes out to Chiesa. This is how we can exploit them. They collapse. So they have their five across the back here, but they bunch up in the mids, and they have this tendency to kind of collapse. You see McKennie making a great run. That's going to engage this defender right here. I've circled DeCilio because he should be coming up here to engage. So if this ball swings out to Bernardeschi, as this player here will slide in to stop this opening, it's wide open for us to get into a great deep territory. And this will be much more challenging than a shot from out here from Chiesa. Now, this is what we need to look at. All the players you see in your screen here, Juventus have 7 in screen. That means they have 3 back. If you look at Zenit, all their players are back but 1. Take your 3 that you have there, man up, especially if it's going to be Zuba. Man up on him with one of your CBs. Leave the other 2 for cleanup and fully unleash DeCilio here. So you'll see in the next slide, it starts to really open up. That player has slotted in. McKennie has taken this player out of the range. Bernardeschi is calling for this, and rightfully so. And DeCilio needs to be on his horse getting in here. This should have been the play, which would have put us at a much higher percentage of a big chance being there. Chiesa ends up firing this one, and he fires it high over the net. And these are the scenarios that I expect once breaking down video with Max and whatnot and the team that they will see. They need to be far more selective. It is very hard to tell your shooters to just sometimes take it easy on that and hold it up at times, but it's something that's going to have to be done. This is very low percentage, and Chiesa needs to recognize that. And Bernardeschi is calling. You could see his arms, his body language. He is wanting that, and rightfully so. So we need to be aware of these scenarios, especially with the fact of we're going to have a team in a 5-man back and they collapse with midfielders. So here we have a cross that goes to the back post to Chiesa. And again, this is a similar scenario. You can't necessarily fault him as we go into the next slide as he ends up taking a shot. And it has to be noted, this did not miss by much. But again, there are opportunities for us to create much higher percentage scenarios. Bentancur calling for it, arms out, sitting there alone as, again, Zenit has collapsed. Bernardeschi has a clear line to the back post. Chiesa shoots this one again, noted. He did not miss by much, but Bernardeschi is furious at the end of this play as he attacks a space, and it's a shot that ends up going wide. And they're literally one pass and a cross, or even Chiesa putting it to the back post away from a high percentage goal scoring opportunity. And this is the thing when you break this thing down statistically, Juventus had a lot of shots, but again, big chances, not as many as we probably should be getting on teams that are allowing us to control and come back. Zenit finished statistically quite strong as well, but only 2 on target, and a lot of their opportunities again came from errors from us in possession that gave them counterattacks. This is a trend with Juventus that needs to stop. They need to be much better in possession, and there needs to be far fewer giveaways. Okay, now let's continue on as we look at some of these slides. So here you have a great play by Morata, as you see McKennie here that makes a run back there. But I want to show you again the fact that Zenit is collapsed. Sandro should be out here wide, and this will keep them honest. This will take another player out of the midfield, and if he doesn't go with him, it's going to create issues at their back line and really spread them out. DeCilio should be the same. We don't need to worry about one or even two guys back up. If a team's going to sit back, you need to send numbers to create some issues. This ends up being a great play by Morata, a great pass, but you can't bank on these. The margin for error, even in just McKennie staying on side, is so difficult. And to get this ball through there, as Morata did, again, high percentage that doesn't work out. But Chilio, take advantage of the space that they give you, and let's get into much better positions. We cannot play with fear, basically. And these past 2 games, again, where Juventus has suffered some losses, played it very safe in the attacking method, and we just can't do that. There has to be some risk to get some reward here. Again, great ball by Morata. This one should have been buried. McKennie puts it not high enough, and the keeper's shoulder ends up stopping it. But a great opportunity, great pass. Again, these opportunities might present themselves, and we have to take a few shots like this here and there. It will keep them honest and maybe make them even tighter for our wingers or our wing backs, fullbacks, to take advantage of more space opening up on the outside. These are money areas to be crossing in, and Zenit actually allows you that, and we've seen that. Here, I want to talk about something else that can happen, and this has been happening for a long time, and it's just not playing off our forwards enough. Morata makes a great play here to take the ball and turn his man, but he ends up shooting it immediately. He's got acres of space here, but also I want to note here McKennie, and the reason I've circled McKennie, if we are going to be using him as a player that comes out of the midfield that supports the attack, it needs to be an option that our forward, who, if we're going to end up using as a target guy, needs to play off of. So it needs to make sense structurally. Chiesa here, again, it all needs to be tighter. But Morata, in my opinion, poor decision to just turn and fire from there. I would have liked to see him carry it into space. You see Artur trying to come up here, make a run in there. And here's Chiesa again. We can make something happen here. Just has to be tighter to one another, right? And doing this opens up those flanks as well for those fullbacks to come in. They need to be tighter together so that he has options. Last, certainly not least, aerials. You're gonna get a lot of aerials against Zenit, because sometimes when those 5 get it right at the back, it really only leaves you that, and you have to send numbers. So we have 4 in here, the cross coming from the fullback who's out of the screen right now, which was DeCilio. Again, McKennie should probably be playing in this one if we're going to be aerial dependent. Here, you see how we get our goal. And again, it's sending numbers forward, something Juventus must do. Here you see Chiesa occupying the first defender. At the back post, where DeCilio ends up going, great decision. You have man-to-man. 1v1s here, okay? Keane actually occupying 2, and Kulishevsky is allowed, because of that, to slip in front of his man. So he finds a space between these 2 defenders to get a goal. You see McKennie back post, and again, you could put guys to clean up garbage, but you have to send numbers to create issues for teams that want to sit back and play defensively. And this could be the route we end up going. And there's your goal and your game winner from Kulishevsky on that play, but numbers forward. Okay, so there you have it. This is breakdown of what Juventus should be looking at. Okay, forwards playing closer together off our 9. Okay, McKennie really playing as an option for our 9, whoever that may be in this game. Fullbacks fully engaged and keeping them stretched at the back to create more room for our forwards in the middle. Numbers. We have to attack in numbers. And honestly, even in doing so for the majority of the match against Zenit, they didn't create a whole lot of counters off of their own buildup. Their best counters, again, were from our errors. So possession has to be strong, from Juventus. But this is something that continues to be an issue. We cannot give the ball up. And again, I think a lot of it has to be with positions and work rate. The guys that are out there have to make sure that they give the ball carrier options, and our anticipation needs to spike. Okay. As soon as one of our ball carriers gets the ball, he should have 2 options. And there are a lot of times, sometimes, where we don't even have one. Okay. Many times we don't even have one option for a ball carrier. And that's why we get stuck. And sometimes the decisions are not correct and we lose possession. So again, everybody, the work rate needs to be up. We can't be afraid to send numbers. And if we just sniff out their counters, which we did fine in the first one, again, the only dangerous ones were when we coughed it up in a worst possible scenario. Okay, this should be a straightforward one for Juventus, and I don't expect a slip up. 3 points here automatically qualifies us for the knockout rounds. They're going to be going at it. This Retiro, we'll have to wait and see what happens with the team. I'll stay in at camp, but again, the last 2 matches were straightforward for Juventus as well. Walls down, no fear. I don't expect Zenit to open up, regardless of those 2. Juventus should be controlling this match. We should not be afraid to send numbers, and we should be able to punish them. A little bit more selective in what we want to do offensively. Fullbacks fully engaged will be the key, because that is a major area to attack with Zenit. If we're going to cross the ball, crossing it from ahead of the area or deeper from the area, you want it in behind, close to that byline. Much tougher to defend. And the biggest thing is pace. A lot of the times we slowed it down against Zenit. Pick up the pace. Keep the pace quick. Makes them have to react a lot quicker, and we could force some errors from them defensively. All right. So there you have it. There's a tactical breakdown ahead of Juventus versus Zenit. Can't wait to hear all your thoughts. I know you guys have been liking these videos, and the feedback's been fantastic. Appreciate it. Glad you all enjoy these. And again, tomorrow morning here on this channel, 5:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Match Day live for Juventus versus Zenit. Be there. Like this video, please. It makes a massive difference. Subscribe to the channel if you're new for all your Juventus content. Till tomorrow, fino alla fine, forza Juventus. Ciao.